Hey guys, we are back, just about to head into picks and bans of game number 2 of Direwolves versus Invidious. A great game number 1 we saw there. Potential comeback from Invidious, just falling a little bit short there at the end, Nightfall.
Yeah, and Dials just played perfectly in that last team fight. Oh, didn't lose anyone, actually, did they? No, I don't think they did. And Invidious, they played to their win condition in the team fight, but weren't able to successfully take down Kiki Omiya. He had a great Aegis and was able to sustain throughout all the damage coming through from Invidious. And it was just a really great team fight from the Direwolves, which they just won off the back of. And that's the late game for you, is one team fight can win the entire game.
And we should also praise Richard Castle's Stone Shields there. A lot of times during those aggression that Invidious was putting on, it kept him alive just a little bit longer to enable him to put out a Spirit Ball to before he died. At that time, it stopped a lot of Top Notch's damage onto him, which then allowed him to get out of the Ring of Spears and then use the Circle of Protection.
Yep, so straight into game number 2, here we go. Pick and bans are up. We got Bologna as the first ban away for Invidious.
That's Direwolves banning that one first, actually.
It is too. It's too.
Yeah, Bologna banned away. Saw them ban it away last game. I guess they just they just really respect that on the side of Invidious. Honestly, Bologna really, really strong in the OCE scene in either jungle or the solo lane. I really like it on Freemason's jungles, though. He really likes the control junglers. We mentioned this at the start of the last game, and we saw it there with the Horn Butts. The Pheno Evils were used very, very well by him to set up for the rest of his team. Bologna does that really well with the Eagles Rally as well, and it can be used to shut down auto-attack heavy gods and rolls. And we know that Yada likes to play auto-attack style solo laners.
Yeah, and like we saw last game, that Ao Kuang, completely auto-attack based and so strong. The executes coming through as well with that Wild Storm and Stormcore combo, dealing absolute major damage. Very, very high damage sustain coming through from that pick there. And Ares now, the return ban. They really don't want to play against Richard's Ares.
That's going to leave open, realistically, either an Athena or Sylvanas for Direwolves to get, considering they are first pick, or they could leave open the Ao Kuang again, because Direwolves are first pick, and usually the rule goes, if you're not first pick, you ban away Ao Kuang.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the general rule of thumb, but we saw Ao Kuang come through in the very last pick of last game draft, so really, really interesting to see that. I mean, it was quite confusing, but we see Giannis banned away now for the Direwolves. They don't want to play against... Who was it? That was
Rogue.
Just Rogue's Giannis. He played very well on that. His through space and times were on point.
Yeah, he provided a lot of the damage for his team. It's going to be interesting to see what Just Rogue plays in the mid this time. He does like Agni as well, and Scylla. We haven't seen Scylla come out of him we didn't see Scylla in the first game, which is something he typically likes to play, especially into the Odin of Top Notch. And now we're going to see Athena banned away from the Direwolves. Nvidia's going to ban that one away. No surprises there. They'd rather play against the Sylvanas than an Athena, because El Shuckles' Athena jungle is absolutely insane.
It's so devastating. Like we mentioned in the pick and bans last game, he's such a beast on Athena. It's a good ban. I mean, if they don't ban that Athena away from him, they're going to lose. It's so game-changing. And the first Sylvanas for Direwolves, again, Sylvanas makes it through the pick and bans. Don't normally see this.
Yeah, we usually see him banned away, but just a bit of an odd picking phase. We're going to go ahead with our next couple of picks here as well. Hunbats and Agni picked up on the side of Invidious, some great control there from them, some nice overlapping circles, and then Apollo and Circuit picked up from Direwolves.
Yeah, so Hunbat's Agni, it's a lot of damage coming through in the setup as well. Agni, of course, he's got that Rain Fire and Noxious Fume stun. He can poke as well with that, and his early game wave clear is super, super strong. Hunbat's mobility, like we saw last game, and lockdown with the Fear No Evil, but Apollo Circuit, very interesting to see.
Very interesting to see. I really like Apollo on Just Lane. It's going to mean he's going to be boxing, which is something he's extremely good at. And going up against Rana Brana, who's more of more comfortable using abilities and necessarily auto attacks as he used to be a mid laner. It's going to be very interesting to see who comes out the better in that matchup. Serket is just a Chuckles comfort pick. He loves himself Serket. It does tremendous amount of damage and it allows him to hyper carry, which is what he really likes to do. And now Geb picked up on the side of Invidious. Smart pickup as Geb provides a lot of counters to Serket.
Yeah, that shield it counters the true damage from the last breath from Circuit, so it keeps that target alive, as well as that Cobra's Kiss cleanse. Gib is just so strong. Very nice pickup for Invidious there.
Our next band's going to be coming through is going to be Isis and away for Invidious, and Odin banned away from Direwolf. So both of them recognizing picks that did a lot of damage to them last game and just going to say, hey, respect what you did last game. Not going to happen this game. Different game, different circumstances. Both teams respect banning those ones away. And we're going to see Rama picked up here on the side of Invidious.
Rama, very interesting. So I played an arena match before. It's a fun story, and it was on North America, and Rama on North America, not fun at all. It's so difficult to land that auto attacks. But the thing is about Rama is all his power comes from his auto attacks. He doesn't have any ability except for his ultimate, where it's a free shot, like Apollo's so beautiful. So he's got to land all of those auto attacks, but we know that Rana is good at that.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot better when he first made the change to ADC, and so it's going to be interesting to see on his progression on, as you mentioned, basically a purely auto attack based god like Rama. The next pick coming through from Direwolf, I really like. It's going to be Poseidon and Osiris. Kiki Opnio plays a mean Poseidon.
It's scary. I played against it once as well. Not fun. Not fun at all. I mean, the Kraken damage. I mean, he's got two abilities that if you can't get away from, you're dead. I mean, it's the Whirlpool with the Kraken combo. I mean, you can also get the Aegis, and that's something that Just Rogue has to do. I mean, it's so detrimental for him if he doesn't get an Aegis. He's going to be forced to get one. And now the last pick coming through is Hades, and that's going to be in the solo lane there for I'm so lost. I'm so lost. Top Notch is going to be playing Hades. That's something we don't see every day.
No, I do like Hades. It's got a very good early clear, and it sets up well in team fights. It's actually something I think Top Notch should have played a lot of because it really suits his playstyle. Like we mentioned when he was playing Odin, he likes to set up solo laners rather than hyper carry ones. Likes to really allow the damage dealers on his team like Just Rogue and Rana to do the work around what he's created for them. I like Osiris being played by Yada as well. It's a very, very much in his style. It sticks to people, can deal a lot of unexpected damage to them, can set up well for his team as well with those tethers. And the ultimate as well reduces some healing on them.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for this game. I'm super excited to see how both teams use these team compositions. Not as utility based as last time with the Neath, the Hunbats, the everything they played, and the Isis as well. All of those now banned away. Odin as well in there too, and let's just jump straight into this game. I'm so keen for it. Game number 2 of Invidious vs Devils. We're going to have a very short break after this short message.
Hey guys, we are back with game number 2 between Dials and Invidious. Week number 5, the Smite Oceania Pro League, proudly brought to you by Plantronics and Rockout. Great new sponsors we've got on board for us in the OPL. So, as we saw last game, Ao Kuang not really being prioritized by both of these teams, not picked or banned at all.
And that's so strange to see. In the North American Europe, you either ban it away or you first pick it. And I'm not too sure why either. I mean, Yada did such a great Ao Kuang in that last match.
He did a lot for his team. He was really the hyper carry of their team. Everyone really kind of set up around him to do the damage. He and Chuckles were just tremendous for his team.
Absolutely tremendous. You can emphasize that one. So back into game number 2. Here we go. 45 seconds into the match. Nothing too strange coming out. I mean, early wards coming down too. There's over there in the speed buff side of the map, the direwolves have planted them around Invidious' speed buff. And yeah, nothing too strange.
Well, a power pot was popped by Freemason. Chuckles has got his one online. Kiki Amino not going for that start in this game, just going his regular start. Before these teams get into their respective starts, let's go ahead and introduce them. So, fighting on the left side of your spectator UI, out of the order side of the map, it is going to be Dials. Yada is in the solo lane as Lord of the Afterlife. Osiris, El Chuckles is going to be in the jungle on Circuit. Kiki Omio in the mid lane on the God of the Seas, Poseidon, Richard Castle, and Just Laney will make up your duo lane at Sylvanas and Apollo.
And on the Chaos side of the map, on Invidious' solo lane, it's gonna be top-notch as Hades. In the jungle, it's Freemason on Hunbats. Mid lane, it's just Rogue on Agni. And our duo lane is made up of Nitkrick and Rana Barana on Gib and Ram.
So if we take a look at these starts that these teams are doing, we could see the Dials have again gone for the AFK start, whilst Invidious has gone for the Paradigm start. What do you think the benefit of doing the Paradigm start over the AFK start is, Nightfall?
I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what the difference. But
Nightfall.
So the XP lead is okay. Let's take a look at our graphs after that one. Who's got a lead right now? 83 to the side of Invidious. So clearly, whichever one you sent, I'm so sorry that I don't know. Oh wow, I should know.
Alrighty, let's do some education on the stream. Let's do some learning with Hizzy.
I love education.
So the Paradigm start is where you do the mid camp with the duo side, then go to your purple, whilst your mid, solo, and jungler do the yellow buff mid laner, then goes to mid. Jungle and solo go to the blue, and then jungle comes and does a mid camp with the mid laner. We could see that Dio was here actually going for an invade of the red buff. El Chuckle's going in hard on Nitkrick, who's forced to use the stone shield on himself, backing out there. Dio was launching an early attacking raid.
That was beautiful timing from the Dials. Mid and duo lane there, they both pushed up, and at the exact same time, they all rotated for that red buff there, and were very beautifully stealing that away.
Indeed, they were. It's just the early aggression Dials is known for. And taking that red buff away from just Rogue is going to be very, very valuable, because it means Kiki Amir is going to be able to get that much more lane aggression on a matchup that's already favorable to him. Poseidon against Agni is usually a pretty hard counter matchup, as if Agni gets caught in the whirlpool, he can't dash out of it.
No, he can't, and that's really where the main counter comes from. But Just Rogue has gone for that tiny trinket build. It's going to be able to sustain a lot stronger than Kiki Omio, who's only gone for that. He's got the Lost Artifact and the 2-pot start. He's got a mana one as well, rather than a health one. So if he takes too much poke from Mason or Rogue, he's going to be forced out of that one.
I think, though, Kiki Amir is going to be pretty safe, as the cripple on his whirlpool is really strong. And especially against both Hunbats and an Agni, both of them have escapes that, if you're crippled, you obviously can't use. It's going to give him some safety, and El Chuckles is going to be there. El Chuckles likes to hang around the mid lane. I mean, as we said, of course, he's going to rotate to the solo just to prove me wrong. But he likes to hang around the mid lane and get lots of aggression on that area, make sure his mid laner can get online early and deal a lot of damage. Chuckles is just hanging around the blue buff of Top Notch, looking to get some aggression as Top Notch pushes up. Now out comes El Chuckles. Yada goes onto him with the tethers. Top Notch dashes towards his tower, but there's the last breath for Chuckles into the wall. Top Notch should go down here. Yada leads onto it. First blood going to Direwolves.
And that was just so beautifully played there by Direwolves. And you can see Al Chuckles. He just stood there, waited for Top Notch to come back, waited for the death from below, and hit him with a Cobra's Kiss. There's actually an across the sky from just laning into the mid lane. No aggression coming out from Invidious there, though.
Yeah, he was looking for some setup from Richard Castle there, not to find it. Back towards El Chuckles. What he did there, in one word, was patience. Just waited. If his time was coming, Yada was obviously calling out what Top Notch's method of wave clearing was. Waited for Top Notch to use that, just came out and did him in with his power pot. And you know, that's what makes Chuckles such a fantastic jungler. It's not only the mechanical skill, but the mental side of it as well.
Yeah, he's so good at it, and again, it comes back to patience. And Freemason, he's hovering around the back of Yada's lane, looking for a blue buff. No, he's gonna go back towards Yada himself. Not gonna find anything. He just sort of went around.
Oh, look at this!
Another steal of a jungle buff. Oh, actually, was that a secure from Just Rogue? Yes, it was. He secures it with. Oh wow, there is actually a Fear No Evil and Cataclysm combo coming through. Nice. Kraken will stun up too, but Just Rogue secures a kill onto Kikyo Mio, and there is a Pillar of Agony as well. Richard Castle goes down after that one.
Yada gonna keep fighting Invidious here, but really needs to get out Lips over the wall with his Lord of the Afterlife, just to get out, trying to keep some aggression away from El Chuckles. Really paying for it there. But yeah, good engagement there from Invidious, and it's a start that they really needed after Direwolves had kind of tried to impose their will early, and Invidious reminding them, hey, you don't have that much of a lead yet, you can't do this, we will punish you.
Yeah, and they punished them so strongly, and they're gonna take down this tier 2, no, they won't take it down, they're gonna deal a lot of damage to that mid lane tier 1 turret. And Invidious, early game lead here in game number 2, much different from last game.
Yeah, and this is what Invidious need to do. They need to come out strong, not be intimidated by the Direwolves, be willing to take it to him. Just Rogue has really impressed me in both games today. He's really hit all of the abilities perfectly, hit targets, done damage, secured buffs, and right there, secured his own speed buff. It was a steal, but you don't really hear steals of your own buff very often, but it was just beautifully played by him. He deals a ton of damage for his team, gets a lot of setup. Really tremendous player.
Indeed, and now we're gonna see Richard. So he's on that Sylvanas, and he's so good at Sylvanas. I really want to see him land a sick pull through the wall, like we saw from Biggie in week 1. He's got that potential to, but who will it be on? I mean, who will it be on?
It doesn't matter who is on, as long as it's someone that Direwolves can kill. Slaney boxing out Rana pretty nicely there. Looks like Direwolves is setting up for this left-hand side mid-camp with only Nickrick to contest them. Here comes Richard Castle and Kiki Amio. Richard El Chuckles is just behind him. There's the Whirlpool Kraken combo. Nickrick used the Cataclysm, but it just held him in place for all the damage, and he goes down there.
That's a very nice. But over here in the solo lane, he's Yada. Fear No Evil went down, but he had the Lord of the Afterlife and was able to jump through the wall before getting CC'd, and he's safe on that one. Jumps through the wall. Nice escape there from Yada.
Yada's got a great ability to just be in a really bad spot and just get out of it. Like we saw there, Fear No Evil right into a wall, got out of it, just jumped over the wall. He always knows when his cooldowns are up or down, knows what he's got available, and only puts himself into a position that he can get out of. And now Just Rogue is the target of Direwolves' aggression, uses Stone Shield. Ooh, Chuckles rode him there with the last breath, and he should go down here. Aegis is going to be popped, but the poison is spread to Nickrick. It's going to be ticking him down. He's got enough health, though, to survive there. So another kill going the way of Direwolves. They're starting to show their class here against Invidious.
Look at this over here in the solo lane. Was that a steal from Yada? No, it wasn't. But look at massive damage going down onto Top Notch. Top Notch has no defensive stats just yet. He's only got that Vampiric Shroud and the Book of Thoth, which is only at 11 stacks as well.
Did you say he's got a Book of Thoth rather than a Warlock stash? That really intrigues me on a Hades.
You really want that health from the Warlock stash. It gives you that aura as well, compared to the Book of Thoth, which only gives you mana and power from that mana.
Typically, you see a Hades as well build an Ethereal Staff. Health gives you extra magical power as well. Book of Thoth converts mana to magical power as well, and it gives you some extra mana. But Warlock Sash gives you a nice amount of mana anyway. So I'm not sure what his reasoning is here. Heals up nicely off the wave, does top notch. But yeah, again, I'm just not sure about that Book of Thoth over Warlock Sash. I'm sure, though, Top Notch does have a reason behind it. Chuckles is now aggressed upon by Nickrick. Freemason is around as well. Ambush just to get out, and he's linked up with Yada at this point. I think he should be safe.
But look at this, two-man rotation coming through from the Direwolves in the form of Richard Castle and Kikyo Mio. And Invidious see it and immediately back off. They don't want any of that brotherly duo coming through.
No, the combination that Kikyo Mio and Richard Castle have in the Sylvanas and Poseidon is just really, really, really horrendous. Especially Poseidon Krakens. We've seen how much damage Kikyo Mio has been able to put out so far just by using two of them. Nickrick has taken the brunt of those attacks every single time, and it's unfortunate because he's on Geb, and when he goes down that Cataclysm, it just keeps Kikyo Mio a target to hit him with, and Richard Castle's Roots and Pools have just created even more setup opportunities for that ultimate ability.
Something I just want to talk about is the lane. We haven't mentioned it yet this game because mainly nothing's happened. I mean, Rana Barana and Just Laney they're boxing it out, but no one's getting anything. Everything's even in that duo lane. Even the builds. Everything is the same.
It's because they've got Devourer's Gauntlets. Like, it's really difficult to find advantage when you're just going to be constantly lifestealing. Laney doing a little bit of zoning of the wave here, just letting it get down, last hitting, getting him some gold, denying some farm to Rana Brana. Really intelligent play there from Just Laney, and that's what makes him one of the top ADCs in the region. If we look now, Chuckles maybe looking to steal this red buff. No, he's just going to back away here. Let's take a look at some of our builds now. Again, both of the supports gone the Watches, Gifts, Traveler Shoes combination.
Oh, in the duo lane, actually, Rama was forced into the ear from Chuckles' last breath. Wow, huge coming through. Chuckles taken extremely low. Blink forward from Nickrick will knock up Just Laney, but there was a full disengage from the Direwolves there. Wow, that was so much burst damage down onto El Chuckles.
He's very lucky to get away there. It was a good mesmerize from Just Laney as well to stop some of the aggression. Castle and Kikyo Mio rotating once again, and Rana Brother, he doesn't have his get up into the sky with the Astral Barrage. Kraken hits, but it's going to be the Whirlpool tick damage that takes him down there. So Dire was very nice combination play, recognizing what was off cooldown. This is showing that the learning that Direwolves is starting to get into their play, the intelligence that they're showing, calling things off cooldowns. And I've really got to give a shout out to Ruler, their coach, who also coaches Team Justice in the EU SPL. We can see Invidious now going to be trying to contest this Gold Fury.
Oh, and huge rain fires coming from Just Rogue, but not going to be able to secure any kills as Kikyo Mio turns it around and picks up a kill onto Nickrick. Will that be the Gold Fury though? Or Invidious successfully stops it?
Yeah, they put enough damage out there to make us really reconsider that one and just say, you know what, we'll just back out here. Don't want to lose anything.
Solo lane though, top notch shaken down by Yada after Lord of the Afterlife. Will he go down to the tower? No, he won't. He was on 5% HP after that one. Very nice dive from Yada there and successfully takes down top notch.
Osiris is really good at tower diving because of his passive, which does physical damage mitigation, and towers do physical damage. And so it makes him really, really good, as I said, at tower diving, especially with Lord of the Afterlife, because that's when he gets the most physical damage mitigation.
It's huge mitigation as well. 15% was it that you said?
No, not 50%. It's
no, 15. 10?
15. Yes, on full passive, I believe so. Or it could be 16.
That's huge. That's actually insane. I mean, it could be a tier passive though. Tier passive 1 second. That 1 second worth of CC, no matter how long the CC is. It's pretty OP. Speaking of OP, Just Laney's passive. Let's talk about passive. So, Audacity gonna increase his basic attack speed for 5 auto attacks against a Rama. How do you think it's going to play against someone who activate their steroid?
It means Just Laney has to time his auto attacks carefully in order to box, but at the same time, he doesn't have to expend any mana to use it. And Apollo is just a really good boxing god anyway, even without the steroid having to be activated. One thing that Rama does have in favor of Apollo, though, is that his Astral Strike does extra damage and slows at the same time. So it's going to be doing some more damage to the Apollo, who, when his Audacity is activated, just going to be able to put out faster damage. I like Rama in this boxing matchup, but I like just Laney in terms of the player boxing matchup.
There was a 4-man rotation to the solo lane. Yada forced to Lord of the Afterlife away from that one, but nothing was gained from Invidious. They put so many resources into getting nothing out of it. And do you reckon they'll be on the backside of that? Will they lose anything from that?
I don't think so. I think Dials is just going to secure their own buffs, some mid camps maybe. Just overcommitting a little bit. It's just playing a little bit safe. They don't want to lose out too much of anything to the Direwolves. You know, I think it's all right for them. I don't think it was a misplay or anything like that.
And now here is Nickrick. He's going aggressive onto just Laney, but Rana wasn't anywhere close to being into position. And Freemason's hanging around. He's looking for a Fear No Evil. It is off cooldown. There's a Blink Fear No Evil. Cataclysm mixed in there as well. Just Laney gets out of there with a across the sky. What? How much health was he on there?
About 50. That
was so close.
That was one of the closest Apollo ultimates to get the heck out of there that I have ever seen. Richard Castle as well healed him up a little bit with Wisps to make it a little bit more bearable. Invidious looking towards this gold free, but Just Rogue taken extremely low by Old Chuckles, who's now being turned on by Invidious. Oh, the Sacred Monkey just barely misses from Freemason. If he connected that, he would have been able to continue the aggression there. And now it's Direwolf's turn to look towards Invidious as Yada's rotated.
And yeah, he's used that teleport. So if he needs to be able to get that Gold Fury, otherwise Top Notch is going to force in that wave into the tower. So Yada on zoning duty, forcing Invidious away from this Gold Fury while the rest of his team seeks that one, and they will.
So the Gold Fury at this point is going to be about 300 gold, around about at 15 minutes. And Top Notch takes down the tier 1 tower, which is going to give 100 to each of his teammates. So it's an all-right trade for Invidious, but, you know, numbers game simply going the way of Dire was just Laney now, finding both Rana Barana and Freemason doing a lot of damage, just hitting auto attack after auto attack, chunking down Rana Barana and forcing both of them to back there. So in a situation where he was really the one with a disadvantage, just Laney turns it his way, going to clear up some waves here and probably take down a tower.
He just showed how powerful he is as an AD carry, hitting almost every single auto attack there. Uses that Mesmerize on Nickrick, forces him away, and to use that Gib shield. And Just Laney's playing so well here.
Just Laney's a fantastic ADC. He doesn't often get recognized in this Dire Wars squad just because of the class of his teammates. Nickrick taken so low there. That's just auto attacks and one so beautiful.
That was huge damage.
It's just a sustain from Just Laney. It's sustained damage that he can put out. That's what makes him a great AD carry. Rana Barana's back over here now, going to prevent him from taking the tower. El Chuckles is rotating, though. I think we're going to see a gank towards Rana Barana. Just Laney going to try and take the tower. Oh, blink through the wall from El Chuckles. Blinks a cat. That's not something you see every day. Rana Barana into the sky. The tick damage is still going to be going. Snipes come down. They don't land on El Chuckles. The last one does. Rana Barana dashes away, but here comes Just Rogue in the back. Going to be looking for some damage onto El Chuckles. It's extremely low. Down he goes to the firebomb. Great play there from Just Rogue. Just Laney is all alone by himself. Kiki and Mio, Richard Castle teaming up in the jungle again, going to be rotating over, and Dire was looking for something off the backside of this.
And that was a tower for a kill in favor of the Direwolves, though. Tower will always be worth a kill. 100 gold to everyone on your team, whereas only an assist and a kill for as many members that were involved. And as far as I know, that was only Rana and just Rogue.
Yes, Nickrick was a little bit too far away to get credited with an assist there. Now we can see Fear No Evil coming out from Freemason, looking for some aggression onto Kiki O'Mio. Put back under his tower. Cataclysm under Freemason, trying to get him down under Kiki's own tower, but Yada's here. There's a Pillar of Agony from Top Notch, but that just keeps him in place while Kiki O'Mio uses the Kraken, and so much damage coming out on this point onto Invidious. Kiki O'Mio take it extremely low as well, forced to back out here. Yada's going to be looking for a kill off the back of this, but he just can't quite find it. And
at the same time, look at Just Laney. He's forced it up. He took a tier 2 tower in that left lane. That's an extra 300 gold for the Direwolves, and they're diving this tier 1 tower. Nickrick taken extremely low. He will go down to El Chuckles. Across the skies comes through. Top Notch taking extreme damage from Just Laney, who is actually out of mana, so he really needs to play safe here, but he's got the rest of his team here.
And he's got great lifesteal as well from the Devour Skull. And so he can do all right. He just stay in box. He's going to back at this stage. Dial was recognizing they've got a tremendous amount off that extended engagement. Tier 2 tower in the left side, Tier 1 tower in the mid. That's a lot of gold in their pocket, a lot of gold in hand for each of them. About 2k for just Laney he's got in his pocket right now. So he's going to go back, and it's going to be an Executioner.
And now that Executioner, well, straight up Executioner for just Laney. He's level 17 to Ranabarana's level 15. 18 minutes into the match, 7-3 in favor of the Direwolves. And that split push, that extra 300 gold to take that tier 2 tower was absolutely massive. It opens the rest of the map for Direwolves to aggress on. Oh wow, just Rogue secures a kill onto Kikyo Mio in the mid lane, and now Richie Castle, so he is 4v1. Does he have the Wrath of Terror, or is he just baiting out for the rest of Direwolves to arrive?
Wow, that was a lot of ultimates burned onto Richard Castle. Cataclysm used from Nickrick, especially noteworthy there, and he doesn't even get to half health. Like, wow, that was a lot wasted from Invidious there, quite honestly, and it's gonna really harm them as that Cataclysm is down for over a minute now.
But it was worth for the kill onto Kiki. That Kraken now, was it used? The Kraken wasn't used at all there. So taking down Kiki, it's gonna open up another objective, but the only objectives they can go for now is ours, and they didn't aggress towards that tier 1 tower.
No, they didn't, and I think they're just playing smart at this point, realizing that they're a little bit behind. If we take a look at our graphs, it's going to be a 9,600 XP difference, a 6,800 gold difference in favor of Direwolves. So Invidious really going to be feeling the pressure at this point. We can see the team fights haven't necessarily gone their way. It's not as big of a kill difference as we would have thought, though. Freemason and Topnotch looking for something on Yard here. No, just going to defend the wave. It's really odd to see a Hades lose a lane to an Osiris.
It is quite strange, and it's to that physical mitigation like we mentioned before. Hades deals magical damage, so the passive of Osiris is not going to be used at all against him. So was it that first that El Chuckles patiently waited, like we mentioned before, to gain an advantage for Yada?
It could have been Richard Castle. They're looking for something on Nickrick. Yeah, I think the first gank really set up nicely for Yada in the solo lane. I say lose lane, even though Topnotch has got the tower, that was due to a Yada rotation. Generally, he's been losing out in lane. We can see now both teams huddling around this Gold Fury, having some team meetings, getting ready for a fight in this narrow corridor. Topnotch is swinging around the backside, going to clean up in mid lane, getting ready to do something here. Both teams just kind of playing footsies at the moment, looking for something, but really it's Dials who've got the control of it. Yada's just chasing out Ranabarana, just denying him entry into the nightclub that is this fight. Freemason taken extremely low from Just Lady, and Kikyo Mio's trying to... There's a Wolf Pool to secure him. Fear No Evil popped as well, but nothing going to be found there. Notch gets a kill onto El Chuckles at this point, and it's a 1-for-1 trade thus far, but Dials look like they're going to get this gold for you. Look at Yada and Ranabarana, they're still going.
He's so deep out of by himself, up by the Phoenix, and now the rest of Invidious are forced to back off to try and help out Ranabarana. There's rain fires coming down from just Rogue, Flame Wave as well, but look how much damage Yada didn't take there. He's so tanky right now. Across the Skies comes through as well. Pillar of Agony is top notch, but Yada secures that one, and they're still aggressing.
That just held Topnotch in place. It's again, I've said it a couple of times, but Topnotch and Nickrick just seem to be holding themselves in place so that Direwolves can do damage to them rather than getting out. I think, though, that time Topnotch is just kind of like, well, I'm dead. Let's just do as much damage to them as I can, try and force them back. But unfortunately, at this stage of the game, he's just not doing enough damage where that's a viable strategy.
Yeah, I agree. He's not making use of it, and now looking at the objectives, looking at the graphs, 8k gold, 8.6k gold for Direwolves, and 11k P. Objectives though, what can Invidious do? Other than that mid lane tower, it's super low. They have to play much like last game, where they have to try to win a team fight.
Yeah, they for sure do. Unfortunately, they just don't have the same setup as last time. Topnotch has really been using his Pillars of Agonies reactively rather than proactively. So not setting up, but rather trying to disrupt Direwolves. Whereas last game, he was the initiator for his team. He was going in there with Blink Odin and using the Ring of Spears. And it's just not really working for them. Now Freemason's the initiator with the Fear No Evil, which is not a bad thing to initiate with. He just doesn't have the tankiness to really be the first person in it and cop a lot of the damage.
Yeah. He got absolutely demolished by Kiki and Just Laney. He blinked in, he couldn't find a good Fear No Evil, and he was taken so low. He did get it off in the end, but no one was around him. He was by himself. Looking at the solo lane now, 4 members of both teams are here, and Chuckles trying to go deep, but Top Notch now looking to turn it around.
Yeah, Just Laney is here as well. Kiki Omiya rotating in as well. This is going to be a team fight that Invidious needs to win. But if Direwolves are the one that want to fight, I don't see how they can do it. Richard Castle blinks in Wrath of Terror. And now all of Direwolves are here. Tremendous amounts of damage to Invidious.
And Just Laney secures a kill onto Top Notch. The Ragany was put on cooldown, but Top Notch is just so squishy right now. Rainfires do come down. Across the skies is Apollo. Who's he going to go down on? He does go down onto Just Rogue. Can he secure the kill? No, he doesn't. Fear No Evil does go down. El Chuckles secures Just Rogue. And now the rest of Direwolves are aggressing so hard. Just Laney did go down. Chuckles now with the double kill under this, in between the Phoenix and the tier 2 tower. They're going to be able to take it as well.
Yeah, they'll take this tier 2 tower easily, even without Just Laney. A little bit deep. They should have just allowed Chuckles to be the one to go after the kill there. Laney end up taken down by Rana Brana, so a little bit of gold for Rana Brana, going to benefit him there, but ultimately Direwolves, the winners of that fight. Simply 1 for 3 there, a tier 2 tower as well, possibly a Phoenix if they're feeling daring. They do have the sustain from Richard Castle, who pulls in Freemason, and there's a Kraken, but Freemason jumps out of that one really nicely, but it's just going to allow Direwolves to continue doing this. Phoenix, they should get this one and be able to get out. They do. Rana Brana gone up with the snipes, hits the last one on El Chuckles, missed the first 2, however, and now Invidious come back. There's the Pillar Agony. El Chuckles manages to dash away just in time, though, and here comes Direwolves back again. Nice Wrath of Terror from Richard Castle to disrupt them. Yada just wants to take on the entire of Invidious by himself, and at this stage in the game, he kind of can. He is that tanky, he's that late game Osiris, who really thrives in the mid game, but late game he's not too shabby either. Direwolves running away from Invidious at this point. They could get caught out if they're not careful.
Yeah, Kiki Omiya does get stunned up. Just Rogue dealing so much damage to him. Will he be able to him down? No, Freemason does. And that's a Cataclysm down onto Yada. Will they be able to take him down? El Chuckles kills Freemason there and now trying to jump away. All of Direwolves trying to disengage while also securing kills at the same time. They only lose Kiki Omiya in that. And after that fight over there by the Phoenix and securing the Phoenix, oh wow, fire giant for Invidious.
This is a good call. Kiki Omiya down, who's going to be the main secure for Direwolves. It's going to be very hard for anyone else. Oh, Just Laney going in hard on Just Rogue, who takes a tremendous amount of damage. 1 auto attack connects, 2, 3, 4 is going to be enough to take him down. Direwolves turning this fight. Without Just Rogue, it is not viable anymore for Invidious to take this, and they wisely back off. But Just Laney, the auto attacks we mentioned, it's the mechanical skill that you need to be an ADC. If you can't land auto attacks, you can't be an ADC.
And that's why I play mid. So Invidious, while they think they had Direwolves on the back foot, Direwolves just turned it around. They turned around a turnaround. Now they're sieging this tier 2 turret. Will they be able to secure it? Oh, that's a kill down onto Netcrit for Yada. Fear No Evil trying to disengage. Just Laney taking so much damage from Freemason. Snipes coming through from Rana Barana. Not going to find a kill. Just Laney secures a kill onto Freemason. And now they're set their sights on Top Notch and take him down. And, oh wow, what is it? Go Fury for Key and Chuckles?
I think they were just going to check if there was any wardage on that. They're going to look towards the fire giant here, which is the correct call. One thing that I have to note has to be the Sylvanas. The reason the Direwolves have been allowed to get out of so many of these fights is Richard Castle has just been basically healing off cooldown, and just the little bits of health, you don't really see it, but it just means you do, when you get some poke onto the team, it just healed straight back up, and they seem to just always stay at the same health. And now with the fire giant buff, that health regen is going to be even more intense.
So how many times have we seen Yada being the focus, like being so low, being so deep over there in between a tier 2 turret and the Phoenix in the left lane? He hasn't died. 5-0 and 5. To emphasize that, 5-0-5 Yada, so aggressive, so deep, and it's how is he not dead? How has he not died?
And hashtag just Yada feels. It's how Nickrick blinks in and uses the Cataclysm. Fear Eagle as well. Gets Yada and El Chuckles really deep under the Phoenix, which does fall down. Yada again still lives. Kiki Obio kill onto top notch here. Fire Giant buff doing real work at this stage. Richard Castle pulls in Rana Barana here. Just Laney here as well. Gonna take down Just Rogue. Will he get Nickrick as well off the back of this? He does. Double kill for Just Laney. It looks like Dire was going to clear up some minions and then go for the win at this point. They've got Fire Giant minions pushing in on the right and the mid side.
And that's a blink from Kikio Mio. He's so keen for this win. Rana Barana forced up into the ear. Who's he gonna get the damage down on towards? It is El Chuckles, but too many fire minions and all of Direwolves on this Titan. Rana Barana, will he go down? No. That is the Titan going down first. 28 minutes into the game. Direwolves 20-7 over Invidious. 2-0 now in the set. GG, well played to both teams there.
A much tighter victory from Direwolves this time. Last time they allowed Invidious to get back into it a little bit more than what they realistically should have been able to. And this time, just a much better performance from Direwolves. I think this time the team composition from Invidious really hurt them. At the same time, Top Notch could have still provided that initiate. He just wasn't able to get into the fights early enough to be the initiate, and they were behind for so long, that when he did go in, he was relentlessly punished for it.
And he wasn't that tanky. He had no magical damage whatsoever, so Poseidon was able to deal so much damage to him. Right at the end there, a Kraken took him down from 50% HP to absolute 0, and Hades, I don't think it works well on Top Notch. I mean, 2-6-1 statistically. Looking at this, he didn't do very well on it.
No, and I think that's just because they went up against Direwolves. Like, we're putting a lot of praise onto them, but realistically, they deserve it in this situation. They played a really, really good game. Some really, really good calls from them. I think they were a little bit on tilt during the Invidious comeback in the last game, and they reorganized themselves well, got their psyches back in order, and took it to Invidious this time. Take a look at this Nightfall. Everyone on Direwolves who got kills, everyone got 5 kills. 5, 5, 5, 5. Castle got 0, but he's the support, so he shouldn't get kills. But Laney 5 kills, Chuckles 5 kills, Kiki 5 kills, Yada 5 kills.
That's how in sync they are. It's how synergized they are. They're like, we're all gonna get 5 kills, and then they do. And Yada didn't die.
No.
How that actually blows my mind. It's so aggressive, and in the early game, in his solo lane, he was aggressed on so much by Freemason and Top Notch, but he was able to Lord of the Afterlife away over that wall that one time and didn't die. How? Yada, teach me.
And that performance from Yada, as well as in the last game, I think you'll agree with me, he's going to get the MVP for this series.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah. Alrighty, so time to decide our runners-up and third place in this one as well. Runner-up, I got to give it to Richard Castle. So much setup for his team in the first game, and he sustained his team really well in the second game, as well as providing that setup as well. Supports, I feel they don't get enough love, and so I've got to give it to Richard Castle.
Yeah, 0, 1, and 4, and look at his healing. 10,000 player healing. In a 20, how long was that? 28-minute match. That's a lot. That is so much healing. And yeah, like you said, setup as well. So huge coming from Richard Castle. Number 3, I'm caught between Kiki and Laney, because Laney played...
exactly what I was going to say. I feel like I'm going to give it to Kiki Omio, though, because he was very, very active in the first game as well as the second game. Just Laney did nice work in the first game, but really did the majority of efforts in the second game. A more consistent performance from Kiki Omio. I think we've got to give him the third place there.
I agree. Yeah, so in order, Yada, Richard, and Kiki Omio are our MVPs of set number 1, week number 5, day number 2 of the Smite Oceanic Pro League. Guys, that's going to do it for us for our first set. We do have Law versus Synapse coming up after that.
Team Solo Theo.
Team Solo Theo is what they've renamed themselves. I quite like that name, actually. So we are going to see set number 2. It's going to be casted by myself and Timmy. Hughesy's leaving us. Please don't go.
Bye, guys.
No. But that will be roughly 15 minutes away, so don't go anywhere. Grab your popcorn, actually. Grab popcorn and then come back, and we will be right in with our set number 2 of today.